Hello and welcome to Focus on Liberia. I'm Anthony here, hosting the Hour of Politics. Welcome to the broadcast. Focus on Liberia, where we educate, we elevate, and we promote all things our dear country, Liberia. Welcome. Do me that favor. Share this broadcast. Let us have this conversation. Chapter 13 is the most talked about chapter in why based on my reading, I want to classify as a tell-it-all kind of book. And I will not stop telling you, get a copy and read that book. It will do you well. Now that it's going to change what we all disagree with. But two things can be true at the same time. It is true that the authors were not careful in their use of language for which they receive all the condemnation. That is true. We all disagree with them. We all condemn them. What is also true is that there is so much information in this book that is so much information so worth it for anybody to know about. And so if you are like me, who is thirsty for the truth, do yourself that favor, get a copy and read it. After all, it has been authored by Liberians. Do you not want to read books authored by Liberians? Don't we criticize Liberians all the time that they're not writing books? The book is juicy. Spare me your moral code and all that. Spare me that. The book is juicy with information. If this book were not this juicy with this information, we would not be here. We will not be talking about the faithful chapter 13, but that is not what I want to talk about. Focus on Liberia is in conversation with the authors. We will bring them in and we will find time to quiz them, to interview them on this book. I'm here to discuss this topic. The topic for today, the hypocritical outrage about chapter 13. Oh yes. The outrage, as justified as it may be, could not be any hypocritical as it has been from all corners and from all kinds of individuals who are not in any moral standing whatsoever to be coming down with these kind of criticisms. Some of them have become some kind of a moral police out of a sudden. They are moral police now. They want us to listen to them. They want us to celebrate them, that they are standing for the truth, that they are standing moral ground. But I tell you this, they are all sinking in hypocrisy. They are all hypocritical. And it must be called out, just as we are calling out the authors for their insensitive use of language in a way we can all agree shouldn't have been done in the first place. So let us get started. The hypocritical outrage about chapter 13. Why am I saying this is hypocritical? It is hypocritical because those who are making all this noise, who are expressing, some of those expressing the outrage, to put it right now, everybody, some people are in a moral place to do so. I am in a moral place to do so. Oh, yes, I am in a moral place to do so. But let us go to it. So who are some of the people that are expressing their outrage and are not in the moral place to do so? I will start with the big one, President Weah. President Weah has no moral ground. He is not in any moral standing. And I will deal with the master before I come to the noise makers of the master. So let's start with our president, His Excellency, Dr. George Manuel Weah, my own sister and brother. Let me handle business with him. President Weah was the one who is the source of this information that we are discussing today. President Weah cannot deny that those words placed in this chapter 13 are not his words. President Weah cannot deny that. If President Weah thinks or believes that he did not utter those words, that he did not give the detailed description to his friends, let him speak now so that we can know that those words were manufactured. How could this man be so graphical, could give so much specific details about his bedroom to friends? This discussion will be juicy. We will tell every bit of truth on every side. And for you who are listening, let me hasten to remind you, I will talk for 30 minutes and I want you to participate. You will have 30 minutes, I will have 30 minutes. This is the hour of politics and it's going on for 1 hour. So get ready. The phone line is already set. And if you are watching or on YouTube, please share with somebody in their WhatsApp chat room or whatever. Let's have the conversation. So I was trying to say, President, we are the one who pulled these things out. So he should share the responsibility. There are certain details that should not be discussed, should not be shared with friends. Hey, don't we all do that? I blame President Weah in part for doing so. But I also want all of us to recognize that we all do that. Don't women talk about men? Don't they talk about all the sweet part and all the juicy stuff? Don't they talk about that? Don't men, all men, or most men, do that too? We all do that. Our problem has been that we have revealed a lot of duties when we don't supposed to do. Putting it in the book, I agree, was wrong. And those who are making all this noise today, some of those who are making all this noise today, they are not on any moral ground, no moral grounds whatsoever. So let's bring us some names here so that I can have you come in too. I think as dealt with President Weah sufficiently, President Weah was wrong. He's the source. If he has not said these things about his wife in this manner and form that he did, thinking that he was confiding in his friends, and I think when he was speaking, he was laughing. He was in the moment. He was enjoying that. He felt that was a good thing that he was doing. I think he felt that way, and he did. And out of a sudden, he wants to play victim. Out of a sudden, he thinks the one who put it in the book is the only person who is in error or in the wrong here. So he shares responsibility there. So, can President Weah clarify? Please speak out, Mr. Weah, that you didn't say these words. He can't. And I believe that President Weah has said so much worse than the one that this outrage is all about today. He's a talking guy. We know that for a fact. I'm talking about my own sister man here. Those of you who don't know him, and don't waste my time here with your emotions. So let us do this too. Do you want to know why George Manuel Weah is fresh? You remember that faithful saying? It was President Weah at some point was speaking, fellow Liberians, and he said, and I quote, "Do you want to know why George Manuel Weah is fresh? George Manuel Weah is fresh because George Manuel Weah has a 24-year-old partner. President Weah was speaking. I'm sure many of you have heard this. It's a video. It's not an audio tape. He was seen uttering these words while he was still married. Do you know why George Manuel Weah is fresh? George Manuel Weah is fresh because George Manuel Weah has a 14-year-old partner, unquote. A married man will say those words. So this man has been talking. There's a lot he said. There's a lot many of you have said. All of us have said all manner of things. So while the screw putting in the bowl was wrong, we who have talked in this manner to our friends, some details that should be kept, we are also in the wrong. And so let us fix it all. There is not an attempt to justify for the authors who were so callous, who were so insensitive, who were so foolish with their use of those words in the book in the way that they shouldn't have used it. If I were to edit that book, I would tell them, look, with Clark, the intimacy was different. If I were editing that book, I would tell them, look, gentlemen, you have to change the language here. That with Clark, the intimacy was different. The feeling was a different kind. It was a superb feeling. It was an extraordinary feeling. It was that kind of feeling that sweeps one and put them into a balloon of love. You have to be literary. And that's why, the book people do. These actors are well intelligent people who have solid education, who are not limited with words. As I read the book, there were some words that I saw that I didn't see before. I have not seen before. So these were not limited individuals. But let me go back to what I was saying, and let me leave President Weah alone. I think he has been dealt with sufficiently, and he shared the greatest responsibility with this mess that is ongoing today. So let us come to Momba Molu. The last time I addressed that, so I don't going to waste my time. Didn't Momba Molu tell us that President Weah was sleeping with women before he could appoint them in his government? That he was trailing appointment or job for sex? Did we not hear that? Where was the outrage from seditions? I didn't hear that outrage. I didn't see that outrage. I didn't see protest. I didn't see press conference from a gender minister. I did not see one. They never changed their profile picture to the lady who was being described as ice cream. You forgot about the favorite ice cream? That lady was called ice cream because she landed this job because she had to offer of womanhood, something so despicable that a leader should not have done. And in fact, it was a violation of our law. That means the president took bribe to appoint somebody. And this time the bribe was a womanhood. Unacceptable behavior. Where was the outrage? Where was the gender minister? Where were these citizens who are making all this noise today? You want us to talk about this honestly, balancedly, fairly, and put where the rights belong? Let us have this conversation and share the broadcast. Share it with my friends in the CDC. Let them come. So, folks, some people have gone to the length of changing their profile pictures. And let us talk about some of those people. So, citizens, maybe it's about time you show outrage for what Momba Molu said. Maybe it's about time to show outrage that your president, our president, was exchanging sex for jobs. Some of you don't have jobs, but he was getting some cookies before he could give some people jobs. It was their right to get a job in the government. He needed that. He president of the Republic of Liberia, owned by all Liberians. The government is owned by all Liberians, And his responsibility as a leader of the country was to look for the qualified people and appoint them to serve their nation. Instead, he traded that responsibility in exchange for his sexual satisfaction, despicable behavior. No outrage came from sedition. No outrage came from general minister. No outrage came from leaders of the CPP. No outrage came from some of the women in Liberia who are protesting today. Absolute nonsense and hypocrisy to the highest order. And let us talk about CDC photo here. We were right here in this town called Monrovia. We were right here in this country called Liberia when seditionists who are outraged and teaching their profile pictures today have protest in Monrovia. Seditionists were the one who took underclothes and had red Kool-Aid water on it. And they said that was for Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf at that time was president of the Republic of Liberia. Our friends in the CDC, they had the mindlessness, that's the right way to pull it, to have taken the underclothes of a female. They wasted red Kool-Aid water on it, and they said it was for the president then of Liberia, Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. And these are the seditions. These are our fellow citizens and friends who think they have any moral standing in any shape and form to whine, to complain, to justify, to express righteous indignation. How dare you be so hypocritical? We see through it all. Oh yes, now it affects your king. Now it affects your political goal. So you see wrong now when you see it. But then you said that wrong when you were perpetrating that wrong, when you were justifying from that wrong, when you were elevating that wrong, all because of politics to you was right. And out of a sudden you have eyes to see what is wrong. Out of a sudden you have eyes to see what is demeaning to women. Oh yes, you do. And that makes you very much hypocritical. You do not stand for anything right other than to hail a man because he is president today. And some of you will be the very first people to tell us about all manner of things about this president we are when he shall be out of power today. We know many of you. We know what you tell us. So you are hypocritical. And that would do it for seditions a little bit because I have to bring you in here. Another person that changed their profile picture is Edwin Snow. Jesus Christ of Nazareth, my Dennis Jai will say. Edwin Snow is in solidarity. Edwin Snow changed his profile picture to the picture of Madam Claudia because he feels that Claudia, as a woman, is being denigrated. She's being humiliated. She's being talked about. Edwin Snow, there you go. Edwin Snow has any morals when it comes to the subject of womanhood, rights for women, respect for women. Edwin Snow, seriously? Oh my goodness. So let me tell you a little thing about Edwin Snow. This Snow guy who has changed his profile picture, he did so because of politics. He is supporting President we are now. He has become a sycophantic player for his own benefit. He wants to be a friend of the president. But let me also hasten to say he has been president we are friend for so long. That is an established fact. But then he was on the opposite side. Fast forward, what he is doing now is because he wants to be on the president's side. It is not that he respects women. It is not that he has any respect for womanhood. It is not that he's a decent man. It is not that he's a moral person. No, he is not. He's not one, and he can never be one. And yes, why? This Edwin Snow sometime back, gave a poor Liberian sister or woman or girl 1,000 United States dollars and made that Liberian sister to walk completely naked in the midst of men that he has invited to his house to have a drinking party. This guy called Snow, this guy that this country elected twice now as a representative and as a senator. And some Liberians, this is why people continue to question you. All that Snow has done, you will invite him to be your voice, to be your face in the house of politics. This is the Snow who comes, who has the guts to say that he is in the rightful moral place, to express any disgust about these details provided by President. We have been placed into a book, Snow and all. Really? So this is what Snow has done. That is what he did. Give our sister, who was at an economic disadvantage, give her $1,000 and make her to walk completely naked in the midst of men while they were all drinking and smoking. Snow humiliated the mean womanhood, and he will have to change his profile picture on February the 1st, somewhere around I think he woke up like 3 a.m. to change the profile picture in solidarity with a Claudia. This Snow will not stop. Prior to that, this Snow, I can say, is partly responsible, may his soul rest in peace, for the passing of Willie Nuggers. Edwin Snow took nude photos of Mr. Nuggers. He took those pictures and put them in the newspaper, paid for it, and exposed those pictures in the public space. And in that particular picture, Mr. Nuggers was seen with 2 other women in a sexual activity. This Snow guy did that. Those women were exposed to the public. We all saw those pictures in the newspaper. Mr. Nuggers will have to be forced to resign. Fast forward, Mr. Nuggers, from the stress and all that, experienced stroke. Mr. Nuggers, from what I understand, is now with us today. Snow, he is changing his profile picture. And some people believe that he's in a moral place to do so. He is, out of his soul, is standing with Claudia in solidarity with her. Snow has done worse than what the authors have done. We rebuke these authors. We take a serious exception and condemn their behavior. But Snow should be the least to come raise any accusing finger to become a moral police whatsoever to talk about this. He's shameless. And then a guy called Darius Dillon. Some people say that I hate him. You are entitled to your opinion. Why should I hate this guy? I had to impress on my own GM brother, George Lobo, to campaign for Dillon. Lobo told me, "Big brother, I'm not going to do it." I said, "George, you have to campaign for him." You people told me you have this thing called CPP. I understand it's dead now. If you are part of the CPP, support the man. You don't like CDC, so what are you going to do? George Lobo reluctantly campaigned for this Dillon guy. Dillon is this liar. Lies about everything, including a plane ticket. And you don't want me to hold him accountable? The guy said he was going to take $5,000 and he's collecting all the checks. But that is not the issue for DeLon today. What I'm trying to bring, DeLon changed his profile picture to Madam Weah's profile of the picture. DeLon. So let me remind you about something DeLon said. DeLon said, and I quote, President George Manuel Weah is pure evil. This guy, because of political disagreement with President Weah, he said George Weah was and is pure evil. Those of you who are Bible people, I understand that biblically speaking, 1 + 1 is 1. George Weah is married to Clara Weah. So George Weah and Clara Weah are inseparable. They become one person. So if you had the gust many times on popular radio to say George Weah was and is pure evil, and you turn around and identify with that evil, they don't know hypocrisy. Labyrinth can say it past ma. So let me not waste my time with that guy. And I think I've dealt with seditions enough. They are the most hypocritical group of people I've ever seen in my lifetime. After they have paraded the streets of Monrovia with woman honor clothes, with rare cool water on it, and said was for Mother Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, the then president of Liberia, they will come to express any disgust here about what has been said that is far less than what they have done in their political lifetime. Shame on them, and this is unacceptable behavior on their part. And when Mamba Molu said all those things, they had nothing to say. They were all quiet around here. And I know some of them were celebrating Edwin Snow for changing his profile picture and all that. Akaros Gray, whose CDC did this to Mother Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, a woman of high standing in the country, is now changing his profile picture to the picture of the First Lady because now she is the victim. Mother Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was the victim. He never changed his profile picture. And many other women of Liberia who are getting raped under this government. Under the watchful eyes of this government, Liberian women are getting raped. Our girls, our daughters, our younger sisters, babies and all are getting raped in Monrovia, in many counties across the country. Edwin Snow has never changed his profile picture. DeLon has never changed his profile picture. Akaros Gray has never changed his profile picture. Seditions never and ever care to change their profile picture. The gender minister who is responsible to protect these young girls has never changed her profile picture with a picture of any of these girls and women who have been raped, gang raped, and sodomized. And some of them that even die as a result of that. This general minister would dare not change her profile picture, would not have a single press conference. Their hypocrisy or their hypocrisy, somebody told me that's how I should pronounce it, is completely in the roof. They are the number one hypocritical political species in Liberia that I have come to know. They don't have the guts to hold President Weah accountable on anything. They make excuses for him. They believe that he's a god. He does not share any responsibility whatsoever. And all they do is to vent their misplaced anger on nobody but Alva Tuba, because Alva Tuba was not careful enough. Mr. Emmanuel Clark was not careful enough to have sanitized their language when it came to the description of the First Lady, something for which I rebuked them, I condemned their act, and they have disappointed many Liberians for what they did. But to think that they are the moral police of today, when in fact, the people they support, including themselves, have done worse than what these two individuals have done, they must be called to book. And Focus on Liberia is doing that today. And I said to you in the broadcast, this nation will be made whole. And some of the women who are making all this noise, these are the people that watched a guy called Prophet Key, and now out of a sudden, just because they are on a different side of the political divide, they're making all this noise that they are any moral police in any shape and form. We can't build our community this way. We can't build our country on falsehood, on pretense, on double faces, on sheer hypocritical behavior because it's convenient for you. We cannot be selective in our advocacy. We can be situational in our advocacy. That would not get us to the promised land. And let me add with those in the ANC. When this thing happened, they were making excuses. They were making excuses for what we all know was wrong. Even the authors acknowledged that they could have chosen their words differently. Even Mr. Tukpah had to do the right thing to apologize. They were making excuses. They were justifying. And some people were being political and linking it to Cummings. So they went to excuse Cummings. They went to justify for him. He knew nothing about it. And when Cummings finally did the right thing, after being bombarded and decided that Mr. Tukpah had to be gone or let go, those very people who were making all of the excuses will come back to congratulate Mr. Cummings. And there you are too, folks in the ANC. You can support your guy in any party, you can support your guy, but stand for the truth. A lot of us do that. Encourage me to do that. I'm encouraging you to do that. Let us be truthful. The Bible said the truth will set you free. I'm not a Bible guy. I'm a guy who believes in the ancestors. But folks, that is my presentation. It is about your time to come and say your own. If you call, you have 1 minute. Be as brief as possible. This is the hour of politics, and we want the broadcast to go on for 1 hour. I will take a short break. When I come back, I will start to take your phone calls. So, folks, the phone line is activated. And if you don't know where the phone line is, it's in the strolling text below. That number is 605-313-6004. Enter the code 791-403#. And when we come back, we'll start taking your calls. So we'll take a short break. I have done my presentation and my little analysis. It is about time for you to participate. Stay tuned. When I come back, we are taking the calls.
At Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia, from education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment, agriculture, history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.
This is Focus on Liberia, and I am Dennis Jah.
Pana Dennis Jah, thank you. Thank you. And folks, thanks for staying with us here at Focus on Liberia, where we educate, we elevate, and promote all things Liberia. This is the number to call, 605-313-6004. Enter the call 791-403# to join the conversation. Please do so that we can have you to participate in the discussion. We don't want to waste your time. That is the number right there. That is the number to call, folks. So please do so now. You want to call the number. That phone number is all set for you to participate, folks. Let's do so. Let us do so. We have a caller on the line. Caller Emmanuel Soma. Let's hear you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for inviting me. So how you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine.
So
speak a little louder so your friends, our friends can hear you.
You getting me now?
Yeah, I'm getting you.
So I'm really concerned about your presentation. We all have said a lot of stuff. If you equal right to publish a book with all my consent and share what I said in that book. Now, I don't know what country you're in, but I live in the United States. When you are publishing a book here in the United States, whenever you're publishing a book about, you first have to invite the person, let them know you are publishing a book, and what the book is about, is going to put it in the book. There's a script of what you're going to put in the book about them. They're going to read the script, and if they are satisfied with that script, they tell you, you can put it there. If they are not, they tell you, I want you to change it. I don't know if ever people go down. My biggest thing is that actually, really, if someone mentions another subject, with a book and put out the family code, they more say everything and he says
I don't know. Hold on, caller. You are so low. Is there a way you can? Yeah, raise the volume of your device so we can hear you. But before you continue, though, hold on. Before you continue, you heard me many times and repeatedly condemning the authors, right? You also heard me saying, not because President Weah said these things, you needed to put it in the book. You heard me, because that is the point you're making. You are trying to insinuate that, I'm trying to suggest that they were right to do so. So I want you to be careful. Go ahead.
Yeah. So one thing I want you to understand, you cannot use the trust the world, you cannot use the word and then you tell person we are talking it is not an established fact. Now, do you know?
Yeah, that's it. Hold on, let me address that. I did not say alleged because I know for a fact that President Weah said that, and I stand by that any day. That President Weah said that. So go ahead.
All right. So that's what I'm saying. If whatever people wrote in his book, if President Weah told him as a friend, God gave him any legal right to publish it and put the book with all his consent.
I agree.
That is why we are calling on the president, to take a legal action against him for defamation of character. Now, I want you to understand that President Weah is not an ordinary person that whenever people have a press conference, President Weah have to have a press conference. It's not going to happen like that. President Weah is an institution in the world. There's different way he has to respond. You don't have to respond like you and myself to downstairs and stuff, blah, blah, blah.
I agree.
You will respond to the legal channel. He doesn't have to respond to the way you want him to respond. Is that how it works?
I'm not asking him to respond the way I want him to respond.
Because he has to respond, it means that he said that you have to come and respond. That man is an institution until some of you can realize that you will continue to step and fall on his knees. You got just see that he's just an ordinary person. So
caller, you are just assuming. Hold on, you are just assuming that someone ought to think President Weah is an ordinary person. If I believe that President Weah is an ordinary person, hold on, caller, hold on. Come in peace, man, please.
All right, I'm here in peace.
All right. I mean, if I think that President Weah is an ordinary person, then I know nothing about this man at all. The man you're talking about, you don't even know anything about him more than I do. You don't know him. So go ahead.
I said that to say that because your comment is that if he doesn't respond, he said that.
All right.
He will respond, but he's not going to respond the way you and I want him to respond.
All right. Thank you.
People will have to prove this. He has to get the legal document of President Weah signed and say, I don't want giving this, or you have to produce the audio input to the President Weah giving this.
So are you sure President Weah going to do that? Did he tell you that?
No, the brother approved to be about that. He's going to produce it and say.
And are you sure President Weah going to sue?
That's why we are calling on the president, and we are calling on the president on Sunday. President Weah, and understand, President Weah don't have to sue. The president don't have to sue. But his mother was indicated, and his mother has son here in the United States. So his brothers and sisters can sue. The president also has a brother and sister here in the United States. Her brother and sister can sue him.
And you can sue too, right?
Of course I can.
All right, thank you.
So we are looking at it from all angles.
Thank you.
So I just want you to know that because my friend, I tell you my personal stuff, it gives you the right to go and put it inside with all my.
I agree with that 100%. I agree with that 100%. Thank you. Thank you.
All participants are muted and
All
they
right.
can unmute themselves.
All right. Let's bring in the man, Benjamin, Ben Jonan. Ben, welcome. Let's hear you.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Okay.
I actually enjoy your analysis. Unless there's one place that I differ with you.
Thank you. Let's do that.
Where I differ with you here is that for the fact that when you say, I know for sure he said the thing. So while it is true that you could be right, but my fear to that statement is that if we're going to make allegations now about everybody and take those allegations to be facts,
Right.
it means that everything that has been said about other people around, anybody can come and say those things are true. And I don't think that is the kind of precedent we want to set in our community, because then people would just say reckless things about other people, and then want us to believe that those things are true.
Right.
The reason why you would see someone take a gun and shoot someone, and still yet you saw that person kill the person, and the person says, "I'm not guilty," and it still go to court and people still defend them, is because the way how the legal process works, it has nothing to do with the way how we feel personally. So I mean, I just think that we should not tread on that path.
Yeah.
Then anybody can.
I know that is a dangerous path.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, yeah. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Benjamin Jonan there, making a point. Ben, I think you have a point there. So let us see. No caller as we speak. So let me go to the comment section. Let me go to the comment section and read some comments. I think we have about some 15 minutes or so. So, folks, the number is open for you to participate. Again, the number is in the scrolling text below. That number is 605-313-6004. Enter the code 791-403#. That is the teleconference number to call, and you'll be given the opportunity to participate. Let's see if we can read some comments here right away. Let's see this one from this person name is Fambula. Good evening, my brother. Good evening there. Let's hear from William K. Glaze Sr. Wow, Honorable William K. Glaze Sr. watching. Thanks for watching there. Let's hear from Lawrence of Flokia. I placed an order already. I don't know. You placed the call already, then call again. Because stupid words from mouth, I will block you and your show. That person is saying they're gonna block me and this show. Let's hear from Mangra A Mapu Dalsing. Go ma or pa, you're not ready for business. I don't know what she's talking about. And that let's hear from Mapu again. The book should be renamed chapter 13. That is the favorite chapter of the book. Maybe they should change it to chapter 13. Janitor Kaba, if I know what you are saying now, why not block out this? I mean, let me look for comments. Mapu again, friends need to be told this is not for a book, it's confidential. Joshua read the book, he liked it, so stop it. Yeah, Mapu, that's what I said. Not because we are told you this in confidence, that means you needed to pull it in the book, and that's where I disagree with the authors. George Manawia said he was fresh because he got a 24-year-old partner. Yeah, George, we have said that. And now there was no outrage from these people. Where is fake DeLong, who changed the profile picture? That is from Comfort Abu. Let's read more comments here. Let's look at this one from VAR. That's Rudy Skip VAR. That's the shortcoming of the people in this nation. They are very hypocritical in nature. Their nature is merely hypocritical. That's why their nation will not make progress. That person writes. Let's hear from Priscilla Queer. So in chapter 10, the author wrote the Liberian women were throwing themselves at the president for sex and marriage. That is true. I mean, there's a lot of things being said in this book, man. They talk about how President Weah and his friends will go hunting for girls and women at convent, cathedral, all out of schools, and they would take those girls and take them to either a nice street, house, or what's the other place, a rehab community, and there are lots of things being said in this book, and that is why I'm telling people to read it. And then another thing about the book is that they actually did a good job, in my opinion, to really tell George Weah's life story from the time he was struggling to the time he made it to stardom, when he was making the millions. They really did a good job. And from the book, I got to know President Weah's family. I got to know where he was born, how the whole football thing started, who gave him the name, the Black Diamond of Africa. That name was given to him by Roger Miller. Roger Miller, was I don't know if he's still alive, but he played for Cameroon before. He was one of the greatest footballer ever lived on the continent of Africa. He the one gave George Weah that name. In the book, I learned also that President Weah met was the guy named Paul Biya, who was sometime president of Cameroon. Lot of great information, but at the end of the day, they spoil it with their G's and fries and description that should not have been in the book. Excellent book. I will not start reading that book because there's a lot. If you really want to know George Weah, his struggle, his success, his challenges, all that he went through, at some point in the book, I'm lecturing you now, they talk about how President Weah started to say he was lazy, his legs was not strong, and he had to, even when as a winger picking up, he had to bench him for a good number of time. He told him, you have to learn, your environment, you got to get used to the light. He started taking extra training. Joshua even discovered at a certain point, he said, no, this is what I came for. I have to put in the work. We have put in the work. He got stronger. And the next thing you know, he morphed into this, this handsome man that was every woman. I mean, great stuff. And I would say that I want you to get the book, man. Read that book. Lots of things have been said. Do you know where President Weah was born? From the book, I got to know that President Weah was even born in Nimba. President Weah continued to tell people he's from Sastan. I'm from Sastan. So all I told was, oh, I'm a Sastan man. And he actually is. But a lot of good information that you can know about our president. Take it or leave it. President Weah's life story in itself is motivation for many people. And that is why he's president today. These guys, they did an excellent job in telling the story about President Weah, and that no wonder why they gave the dream, the legend, and the rise to power. Indeed, Weah had a dream. Indeed, Weah became a legend. And in the book, they talk about before President Weah inspired the likes of Samuel Eto'o, the likes of Didier Drogba, the likes of J.J. Okocha and Kanu. Before these guys was George Weah. They talk about how some people who went into Europe during the war even got a free pass on immigration status just because by mentioning the name George Weah. Some footballers even got contract just because they said they play with George Weah. This book promoted George Weah to an extraordinary level. These guys did everything to show us the President Weah we saw on the TV playing the football, the President Weah we heard on the outside. They brought that George Weah we didn't know in our homes. They even added to the George Weah that we know. They did an excellent job. You have to get this book. But hey, they spoil everything. And that's where they've been condemned. That is why it's been condemned when they started going into these details that they shouldn't have even put into this book. I would say, I heard people criticizing them that the book was poorly written and all that. For me, when it comes to grammar, I'm not a kind of solid guy. So I don't see why for me, I'm tested for knowledge. I'm tested for truth. I'm tested for facts. So I was looking for a lot of information about this guy, this man called President Weah, how he managed from dumb sight, to stardom and then to the presidency. His life stories is inspiring. And these guys did this. And for Liberians to have done, because an European or a Western could have gone to Liberia, have done these interviews, with President Weah and his friends, and could have written this book. But our fellow Liberians did that. The only thing they post in their own family, and so we want us rebuke them for that. Well, it seems to be folks do not want to call, so I will be reading comments as usual. I think some people are scared to talk about this. I'm not a coward. I can speak my mind. Even if I will go into jail, I will gladly go to jail. Speak for your people. May God bless you. Keep doing what you are doing. You are called to do. I mean, do what you are called to do. As person writes. All right. Let me see. Let me continue. This one is from Praise Johnson. Princess Johnson. Don't forget to mention DeLon. This man followed Prophet Key, campaign for him, and the men defended that. Yes, thank you, Princess, for talking that. President Darius DeLon. Darius DeLon was on Prophet Key was campaigning for him. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? So also what I want to bring to your attention, folks, is that, there can be authorized biography, right? That means somebody can authorize you to write about their life story. Somebody can authorize you, can give you the go ahead to do so. And when somebody wants to write a biography, they can ask you. They may not necessarily ask you that there are some autobiography that are not authorized, and sometimes when it is done beautifully, the one for whom it's written, that person appreciate that. And so, and these guys that wrote the book, especially for Ava was a good friend to Joshua. He got to know him. And another thing about Ava, this is not to justify of anything in any shape or form, but what Ava did. Ava is a sport enthusiast. The men love anything about sports. It can be basketball, it can be American football, it can be, the football we know that they call soccer, just about any sport. Ava love those stuff. And so he followed athletes. And, he's a big fan of this guy who passed, Kobe Bryant. Even when Kobe Bryant died, I think he did a podcast about that. So he's somebody who likes athletes. He admires their accomplishment. He always tries to use it to inspire other people. But then he messed it up. And for you listening to me, I know Ava personally. I can say anywhere he is my big brother. He called me his Peking. And I am dealing with him here. He's not going to get angry. He's an open-minded man. So he spoiled this whole thing. And that is the man. And so all this thing about DeLon, seditions, who were doing all these things about, Ellie and all that for them to be making a noise. I mean, they're not in a moral place, man. We can rebuke Abad and deal with him every day. But some people, to be so hypocritical about this, to think that they are moral police out of a sudden, it's just shameful. All right. So if this issue here is it about morality, is it on moral ground, or is it about politics? If this thing was like in a newspaper, would it be okay? Are people making all this noise now because it's in a book? So let's say someone has written an article and it was in a newspaper. Would it be okay? Would this outrage be the way it is? So let's say Ava was like Emmanuel Clark. Emmanuel Clark has written about 6 or 7 books that I know from my counting. All right. There's no outrage against Clark. Clark, who has a history of writing books, it's like we all have given him a pass. Not necessarily so because it's the authors, right? But the outrage is so because Ava is a politician. Ava, was with Cummings. He joined the ANC. Ava was with CDC. He has been an active political actor in the Liberian political space. If this thing were like maybe, how many person, these people that are making all this noise, how outraged they are about Prophet Key's behavior? Like DeLon, for whom Prophet Key was campaigning. What was his outrage? He doesn't have any outrage about Prophet Key. And now he's changing a profile picture. Can you believe that? So if this thing was said about Claudia, like say an ordinary guy would say it. Let's say a Zogo said it. Would there be any outrage? No, there won't be any outrage. If this thing was said by Prophet Key, would it be any outrage? There won't be no outrage. The outrage is so because Ava said it, because he's a politician, because he knows better. He knows better. He's a smart man, and that's what makes the outrage justified. But it is also right for us to say, will you be outraged? Will sedition be outraged if Prophet Key has said this? Will the issue have generated this much interest and noise and outrage if it were not in this book? Anyway, I have to leave you folks. I think I've done enough analysis. We have to talk about this issue in a very solid way. Let me read a few comments here. Let's see one here from and then look at this guy, the Yeka Koluba, who behaves in that manner. Some of these people who are expressing outrage, what's his name? Dillon. Dillon is a friend to Yeka Koluba. He supports Yeka Koluba. Sometimes he say, well, I disagree with Yeka style, but I mean, that's who the man is. There's nothing he can do about it. What do you mean he can't do it? This is a sitting lawmaker who insults president day after day. All right. And let me come to Cummings too. Cummings fire Ava, but the very Cummings, when in Grand Jida, when that incident happened, he made excuses for Yeka Koluba. In fact, Yeka Koluba, I understand, gone back to the ANC, and Yeka Koluba was accepted. But this is Yeka Koluba who insults a sitting president every day. Talking about President Weah. He insults him all the time. He called him a dog. Out of a sudden, it's okay. The double standard in our community must stop. We should all be united, speaking truth to power, irrespective of who it affects or who is wrong. I am holding my big brother, with whom I have a very serious relationship or friendship. I'm dealing with him here in a public space. Can any sedition muster the courage to do that? I have to say this so you will know where I'm coming from. Ava is a big brother. I talk to him anytime I want. But I am using Liberia's most respected platform and holding him accountable. How many citizens can do that to Momba Mono? How many citizens can even hold Joshua accountable on terrible things that he's done? None of them. They can't even hold Samuel to or Mange accountable. When Mange built a mausoleum here, the very Joshua had nothing to say. It was okay for seditions. Yeah, I am. Somebody, I have the privilege to be a junior brother. I'm dealing with him. How many of you can do that? DeLong can't even hold Yaka accountable. Cummings cannot even hold Yaka accountable. He makes excuses for him. The reason Ava had to be fired is because there was so much noise. The very ANC, when what's her name, Munan Faha, made that discriminatory statement about Mandingo people. She was never suspended. I don't know if she was suspended, but she's still a member. There was not any, accountability. Something that would show that yes, what she said was outrageous and she needed to be held accountable. Nothing like that happened. It never demanded her resignation from the party. But the excuse was that, oh, Muna is not ANC, Muna is ANC Global. ANC and ANC Global. What is the difference? ANC that the global aspect, ANC that the local. I mean, come on, folks. And while it's true, we recognize the wrong in what Ava and Dr. Professor Clark did. If you want to be a moral police, you should make sure you have the standing for people like Snow, DeLong, seditions, all year making all this noise. The rape cases that are going on, they have nothing to say, never change their profile picture. They are doing all that because it's a first person we are. Some of them in the Unity Party are making all this about politics because Avatuba is supporting commies, and he is an ANC person. But when Mo Ali exhibited similar behavior, they were making excuses. They never said anything. No serious action was taken against him. Today, Mo Ali is the Secretary General of Unity Party. But when seditionists were doing that to Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, they were furious. They were angry. How are we going to remain like this? And this behavior must stop. Let me read these comments from Priscilla. Yup, the society where women are not protected, they are getting raped to death. The solemnizing of little boys and girls is becoming a daily phenomenon. All sort of sexual violence against women. And we have a president who is, quote unquote, what's the name they gave him? Feminist in chief, and would not make any serious effort to take serious action. Their very roadmap is another document just for document's sake. Like here from Rule Roberts here, Liberia is some kind of country, my brother, that only snow. They cause every day talking nonsense now. That is true. The average. Let me hear from Priscilla again. Including police who supposed to be protecting little girls, bend her over in the police station. Can you imagine that? Police and all. And where was the outrage from the general minister? Where was the outrage from sedition? The president. We are even utter a war here. Police station and rape her. The first female president on the entire continent of Africa was called a prostitute. Thank you for bringing that to my attention, something I had in my brain. Seditionists were calling Ellen Johnson Sirleaf political prostitute. They campaign with that. And the Ellen too will go and help them for president. We have to become president. So I don't share any sympathy for her on that one. All right. Priscilla, yeah, she's basic. And most of us have been called derogatory and demeaning names, including describing our private parts, women being stripped naked after being accused of witches, girls and women dehumanized. These are the things that happen in society, and people come in noise here. All these terrible character people got a lot of nerves to be disgusted, like they haven't heard we are say those very things. Let me hear from Wesley here. The Liberians in that country, they are not sorry for themselves. Those are the kind of people they always elect. Yep, that person said it right there. Lots of comments, but folks, this is the hour of politics. My New Year resolution is to keep this to minimum an hour, and if I would go above at least 1 hour 15 minutes. So I would take leave of you. Let me read this one from this gentleman, William Kimbrough, all the way from France. I told you before when I appeared on your show that ADD is a con artist and he was deceiving all of you that were supporting him back then. I further said, never you make a decision in politics because of hate and envy against one person. Thank God it came to pass. William Bro is a Silesian. William Bro is a Silesian based in France. He was here some time back. Let me hear from Mampu. Our babies are being raped on a daily basis. Not a single outrage from diaspora Liberia. See them on here talking about morals. But if they continue, they won't like me one bit. If I open my mouth, don't open your mouth because I don't know what will come from them. But yeah, our friends open chapter 13, and now there's dead noise here. So please do not open your mouth. Let me hear from my man, Alice Tutu-June. My man is AS360. You are the exception in our bad journalism and media. Great show, and so thank you. When our journalists do a good job, we must praise them. And when they do a bad job, we must criticize them as well. And so, Tutu-June, so look for the bad ones from me and come and deal with me as you should do so I can get it right. A lot of comments, but folks, I have to leave. I have to go push my come-to. I want to say thanks to all of you who stay with us throughout this broadcast. The only favor we are asking from you, like our Facebook page, share the show. We also have a YouTube channel. Go there and subscribe so that when we are live, you can also get a notification. And then when you get that notification, even if you can't watch during your last basic time, you can also watch the broadcast. Oh, wow. What am I doing? A lot of colors here. Let me take these colors. I'll make an exception quickly. A lot of colors. Jonah Corba. Let me bring G. Flomo. Mr. Flomo, are you there?
Yes.
Mr. Yeah, you have a minute. Sorry, I was not paying attention to the call. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, are you with me now?
I'm with me. You, yeah. 1 minute, please, quickly.
All right, brother. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the issue, I think you have lengthily discussed this issue.
Mm-hmm.
But the point I want to make here is, it reminds me about our society.
Mm-hmm.
That when you are in the upper level,
Mm-hmm.
attention is still on you.
Mm-hmm.
But when you are at a lower level, nobody cares to know about you.
Mm-hmm.
That's the situation we're in. And like you rightfully stated, there are many instances in Liberia that have occurred even worse than what we are discussing today.
Mm-hmm.
And not one has been discussed in the press or even at the higher level. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And I have not really read the book, but from the reports and things, you know, that I'm hearing from various media, you know, and things,
Mm-hmm.
it is disgusting, to be very realistic.
Yeah.
But I want to believe this information that we have provided you guys, maybe it was like a mere joke or play fun, and but you guys are trying to market their product, and this is where I have the problem, you know. And you represented that. Those things were stated, but for the good of the book and for the good of what he's doing, is that re-examine the language to be new,
Right.
which they didn't really do.
Yeah.
But the problem that I'm looking at here, is a serious situation in our society. Today, politics in Liberia is not about politics, because you hear people talking all kinds of people for the language nonsense and things, that doesn't really represent, we as people.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I always remind them, I say, look, if you live outside of Liberia, you would be ashamed to identify yourself as a Liberian. And this is the fact. Some communities go in, I mean, when you call your name and I'm a Liberian, people look at you somehow.
Yeah, my brother, I get that feeling, and thank you. You couldn't have been so strong on the issue. Thank you. Let me take my next caller here. The name I see here is Priscilla. Phone number ending in 2083. Let's hear you, Priscilla, if you are.
Thank you. It's not Priscilla.
Okay.
You. My name is Amandu Takabwe Blame. I'm calling from New York.
Okay. Go ahead.
I've been following you. This is my first time calling on your show.
Thank you.
Nowadays, I mean, the problem we have in Liberia nowadays is that we try to shy away from the truth, you see, to back up from the truth. Let it be real. Let's be real here. Facebook is being monitored all over the world. There's problems everywhere. But our own is just special. You cannot see other countries just mad. Everybody almost like mad. Just going wild on one another. Let us say this fight. What really gets to me is that you can't say, President, we have said this. That's why the people put it in the book. What is the proof that he said this? We have to be civilized here. There's no one in. No,
and I also said, not because President we are selling, it is your right, or is there any reason for you to put that in a book when you know
but
the language is not meant for public consumption?
My point is, how sure are you that he even said it? From the day this man became president to today, they have been throwing insult at him. Lies upon lies. Even the $16 billion now, people looking at it now, can attest now that it was a mess.
Thank you.
There are a lot of things this man leadership has received the worst insult,
Thank you.
worst insult ever in the history of Liberia.
Thank you.
Why are we doing this to ourselves?
Thank you. A lot of callers.
To
Thank you. Thank you for your contribution. Let's hear from Tevina Koye. Where were the traditional women in Pisota Ango when Fina Bono slapped the first lady, lopsided advocate She writes, and I saw this one here from Dempster. Snow is one of the dangerous politicians in Liberia. Indeed, Snow is. Let me take the caller here from Minneapolis. Phone number ending in 1063. Let us hear you.
Hi, Chairman Anthony Tommy. This is Conor Gray. How are you?
What's your name again?
Conor Gray.
Oh, Conor Gray. Let hear you.
Yes, Mr. Tommy, I think in journalism there is something called truth in reporting. If somebody narrates a story to you, you are at liberty to present that story in ways that the audience will understand the story. In my opinion, I don't think any factual or any solid story about Mr. Weir has hit the fan like this. All we've been hearing are the good stuff, his world best, his African Player of the Year, blah blah blah, and all that stuff. But this is the true Mr. Weir, the one that sits in around the circle and hold conversations. Whether or not he sanctions those conversations, the fact that he had the audacity to make the statement, people will come out and say, "Why did he say that? How do you know he said this?" He said, "Well."
Conor Gray, have you never said anything like that to a friend? Man talk though. Have you not talked man talk to a man before, a friend?
Oh, look, Mr. Tony, I've said a lot to friends.
Okay.
But I don't know if I ever took my bedroom activity to my friends.
Okay.
I don't, and moreover, my wife, and that's not who I am. I will never do that.
Okay.
You understand? And there's a sanctity in that. If a man crosses the line to explain that in the midst of banter or locker room talk, that individual is sick in the head as well.
All right.
So those who are reporting this matter should not be blamed. And but if at all he believes that he didn't say those things, he can find ways to refute. But let's not forget that we're in a democratic society where people can express their free will. How they express it, as long as those expressions don't endanger the next person, they are free to say it anyway.
Thank you.
The only thing I can say, don't buy the book, close your ear and pass, because this is not a fiction book. This is a biography or what somebody feels occurred with a person who rose to the level he is at today. So I think we all to hold down our merits and just move on and go look at the next book and see what there to praise Mr. Weir and move on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Folks, that will do it. And let me conclude with this. Chapter 13 has brought a lot of noise. But also, chapter 13 has given us the opportunity to examine ourselves, men and women, that there are some things that should not be said even to our closest friends. And there are some things, even when those friends say those things to us, as friends and men and women, and always talk bedroom talk, that is a fact. And all of you listening to me have said even worse. That did not give any friend any ticket to go and pull it in the public space for the whole world to see. That is the wrong, and we must also recognize that wrong. But you who share that information with that friend, no matter how that body thing might be strong, certain things about your wife or your girlfriend should be kept. And that is how we all can demonstrate maturity and responsibility, being responsible adults. So let this be a teaching moment for all of us. And to those who have been hypocritical, stop. If you know you're not in the moral standing, it's better for you to keep quiet. then you will look intelligent and smart. Then spewing out this outrage and becoming a moral police when you yourself, are guilty of the very thing for which you are yelling all over the place. So you need to be responsible as to how you communicate in the public space. And let me leave this one with you, with my friends, citizens. He said, now you want to be outraged? There's a girl called Crystal Musa. I believe that is the name. Our understanding that her ticket was paid for by your government, CDC, and she went to Liberia. And she went to Liberia. And the reason she went to Liberia was to meet our president. Crystal Musa went to Liberia. And this Crystal Musa, according to her, she went live about this. She said she will not sleep with the president. And that she slept with Carrasco. And that Carrasco arm was stained. Her trip, it was reported, was paid for by our government. There was an arrangement, by the way, for her to meet our president. Where was your outrage, citizen? Did you hold Carrasco accountable? Did you hold President Weah accountable? And now you are doing all of this and changing your profile picture. This hypocrisy, the hypocrisy must stop. The hypocritical behavior must stop. What is wrong yesterday, or what was wrong yesterday, is wrong today. Whoever does it is wrong. And so we should all stick to the truth. And we should not be situational, selective, because the truth is against somebody we love. Be like me. Hold anybody accountable, be it your father, your godfather, your political god, even your parents. Hold them accountable when they do wrong. When we do so, our society will become whole again. We Liberians will be proud of ourselves because we'll be building a foundation that those coming from behind us will be able to follow. But when you hail a godly prophet who denigrate our women, when you celebrate, when our government allow rapists to go loose, or some of them get loose, let go free because they are connected to the government, to the power that be. When the government has a minister of foreign affairs who are accused of rape and is still on the job, the president who is the feminine in chief, this man was being accused of raping a female. And the president will appoint this man. The president will do everything to confirm this man. And he goes with this man on meetings, to meetings in the sub-region. What does that tell you? Is he actually the feminine in chief here? Or he is only feminine in chief in the other way? I get that. Well, I have to leave you before I get in trouble here with management. I hope I brought you a topic in a way that no one probably would do. The chapter in the book is called chapter 13. Chapter 13 is the favorite chapter in a popular book now. A hit, bestseller #1 on Amazon. Get a copy and read it. Know all that's been said in that book. It will help you, and you will thank me later. On that note, I will say thank you for watching. The song says we are all Liberians, and that song taking us home right now as we speak. So until I see you again, I'm working on something for tomorrow. It will be tough. It will be political. I may have Safoko. Safoko is a representative. He and Akaras Gray threatened to beat Yeke Kaluba the day he opened his mouth against to insult President Weah. Safoko has agreed and will be sitting with me tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. He and myself will talk politics. What? They want to beat the man? A lawmaker threatening to beat another lawmaker? Lawmakers are taking matters into their own hands now in my country, Liberia? Really? Safoko will face me. He's a friend, but I would ask my tough questions because that's what I do. That's what I'm in training to do. And please do not stop criticizing me, whether it's pronunciation of a word or do it. You will be helping me. That's the only love I want from you. Not the one saying, my man, thank you. No, I don't want that one. That one doesn't add anything to me. Until I see you again, bye-bye.
We are Labira. Labira is our home. Labira people. Labira.